Hey guys, what's up? Carter here. Got the Benchmade Morpho closer look. This isn't going to be an in-depth full review or anything like that. I'm actually putting this knife up for sale, so you may have seen the sales video probably after. I'll probably put this video up after that sales video, even though I just shot the sales video. I know, it gets confusing. Feels like I'm in memento, right? I need to leave myself notes about what videos I've shot so I know which ones not to or to reference in later videos, depending on when they get put up, because sometimes I get in a video mode and I just crank them out and I don't have time to put them all up. Or maybe there's a particular video that I think is cool, so I put that one up and the other ones kind of hang out for a bit until, anyways. So yeah, Benchmade Morpho, pretty cool blade, very, very light. I will say that. If you get nothing else from this video, this thing is a featherweight, and it's pretty obvious why once we talk about it here. It's got about a 4.25 inch blade, overall length about 9.5 when it's open. Features steel, I believe is D2, yep, D2 steel. Made in the USA, made by Benchmade. This one came pretty close after the 42, so it was kind of thought of as the successor. Then again, every Balisong after the 42 has been thought of, in some respects, as the successor. Features your usual Balisong configuration, two handles with the pivots right here. It features hidden stop pins, I believe is what it's called. So the stop pin is not actually on the blade. Not sure if this is called a tang on a Balisong or not, but no stop pin there. Stop pins are actually located inside the handles and they make contact with various parts on the blade itself, kind of more like a traditional folding knife. Has a clip point blade. I believe it feels like it's flat ground. Very, very sharp, very sharp. It's stone washed, lightly stone washed. Benchmade does like a very light stone washing. It's like a, you know, I swear they put it in for maybe a half hour and then call it good. It's not an in-depth stone wash. It's just very, very, very light. In fact, you probably can't even tell in the video, but it is technically a stone wash, just very lightly done. Here we have titanium liners that are anodized blue, which is what you're seeing through here. I'm not sure what the name of this texturing is right there. I don't believe it's considered jeweled, so I'm not sure what that is, but it's got these kind of disc. Let's see if we can get somewhat of a close-up here. It's got those discs kind of ground into a, you can see right there, G10 scales, sandwich construction, so it's not a milled out solid piece like the 42 is, and that makes this thing just light. I mean, it is so light, especially in the handles. I'm not a huge flipper, but you know, I do flip a little bit, and man, flipping this thing is worlds apart from what I'm used to using. Very, very light. In my unboxing video, I mentioned that this has the spring latch, and you have to excuse my ignorance because I'm not all that familiar with Benchmade Model 42 and its spring latch, but I did do a little research after that, and this is not their usual spring latch. This looks like a considerably more complicated kind of system. It does operate somewhat similarly in that it, you know, it pops open. There's resistance there. It's not. It actually has a cutout section. Sorry, I'm fumbling around. I'm trying to find the best way to show this without cutting myself. But it has this cutout section inside the scale. So when you actually close this, it hits a pin and it pushes it in. And it gives it this kind of spring out kind of thing. And it works fairly good, but as you can see, it still just flops around here. It does prevent it from getting in the way of the blade when it closes that way, and it can potentially hit it a little bit this way in the open position, but not very likely to. But it isn't as, now please, any Benchmade, especially Model 42 aficionados, please tell me, please solve this mystery for me. Well, in fact, I'm uploading the unboxing video now, so that may do it. So if that didn't solve the mystery, please let me know. But why does Benchmade not use the spring latch? I mean, that's like their baby. They invented that thing. Everybody loves it. Everybody wants to use it. They own a patent on it. And yet, as far as I know, the 42 is the only one that has it. And they go for to me, a far more complicated system here to produce something not quite as effective. I have seen the spring latch, and it's a genius idea. I mean, it's a coil spring that goes through the latch piece right here, and then it wraps around a pin positioned further up, and basically just keeps some tension. So it keeps it right here, enough so that you can manually bend it over, but it just keeps tension, so it keeps it out straight when you're flipping. And for some reason, which I don't know, maybe after my unboxing, or my unboxing video, maybe somebody will tell me why Benchmade isn't using that. As far as I know, the 62 doesn't use it either. And it boggles my mind. Seems like just a perfectly simple solution that they have patented, that everybody wants to use, but they can't because it's patented. And I don't know why they don't use it. Anyways. Moving on, spine is very, very nicely contoured right there. Very nice touch on Benchmade right there. You know, the materials are great. It's got this nice titanium pocket clip, stonewashed and anodized. I love blue anodized titanium with a stonewash finish, just like my Shiro Gorov. Very, very beautiful stuff. Absolutely love it. Torx construction all throughout. Now when I got this, it was pretty loose. It wasn't Loctited, so I did put a little blue Loctite on there. It was the only thing I have done to this, which is the medium Loctite, so it's, you know, easily to undo. But I got it really nice where it's got like very minimal blade play. And you know, Balisongs always have a little, if you get rid of all that, not blade play, but handle play, I guess. If you get rid of all this handle play, then it's too smooth to function, or it's not smooth enough to function. Now, I did mention in my unboxing video, I was a little disappointed with this knife, just in terms of kind of fit and finish. And I want to explain myself, because you probably think I'm hypocritical, because oftentimes I talk about how fit and finish isn't a big deal to me, and then all of a sudden I start mentioning it. And I guess that just comes from kind of something stupid. And that is, you know, when I talk about Emersons and Striders and stuff, and people talk about the fit and finish, a lot of the times they compare them to companies like Benchmade, and they say, well, if Benchmade can do it for X number of dollars, why can't they do it for, you know, the more money that they charge and stuff. So when I see something from a company like Benchmade that kind of strikes me as kind of being bad, it harkens back to that. It's not that I really care, it's just that it kind of comes back to that because a lot of people build their case off that. But my main problem with this knife is the blade finishing, which, let's see if we can get, I don't know if you can see it, but there is just machining marks all throughout. I mean, the whole thing, just all machining marks, and on every single grind, and it has that really light stonewashing, and that kind of makes it worse. It reminds me a lot of my Select Fire Microtech, except worse. You know, it's kind of like, I think it would actually look better if they just didn't even bother stonewashing it, because for me, stonewashing only looks good if you can get a completely clean surface to put it on. Oh, there we go. You can kind of see it there. It's even more prevalent in real life, but you can see all those machining marks on every single bevel. And then you've got the stonewashing over the top of it. And when I see machining marks like that, it just makes me think of, you know, cheap M-Tech knives, you know, where they don't bother to clean that stuff up. So I was really surprised to see that, especially on a, you know, a $200+ Balisong. Very surprising. And you know, the G10's not perfect. As you can see there, it's got just all kinds of different surfacing. Sometimes it's not. Sorry about that pause there, my camera quit on me. You know, it's got machining marks on the liners. I don't care about that. That happens all the freaking time. And like I said, I don't really care about that kind of stuff anyways, but it's mainly just because people always talk about how, you know, Benchmade can do it. Why can't other companies do it? But I don't know. I don't really necessarily see the amazing fit and finish from Benchmade. Sorry. You know, that's just been my experience. I haven't had a ton, but the ones I have had, I have not really been all that impressed, you know, at least especially to the point where I wouldn't say, you know, use it as a benchmark for other knives. But anyway, so sorry about that little rant there. It is a very, very nice knife. Very cool butterfly knife. I really love how they did this, the milling out on here. And you can see these titanium liners inside with that beautiful anodizing, which by the way is done flawlessly. Perfect anodizing, very clean, very nice. Locks up super tight in the closed and open position with this latch here. And as you can see, because of that interesting kind of liner lock type deal, it does work kind of like a spring latch in that it, you know, it pops open and it doesn't want to interfere. Spacers look very nice. It's got this really cool texturing on there. Gives you a little bit of grip. And this thing just dances around your fingers. It's so light. Plenty of places to grip. I imagine for you guys that do a lot of kind of more technical tricks, that would come in handy. I know at the 42 a lot of people like the milled out holes because they can kind of pinch and do some really good stuff. Comes with a pocket clip, which I think is really cool. You know, for those that can actually carry a Balisong, or those that just carry one even though they're not supposed to. It's a nice little touch on there, and you can easily remove that if you don't want it there. But yeah, overall very nice Balisong. I was going to get back into Balisongs pretty hardcore, but kind of ended up not happening. So I'm going to put this up for sale, and if it doesn't sell for kind of what I'm asking, then I'll just keep it. It's a cool knife to have in the collection. And with Benchmade's track records on their Balisongs, who knows how long it'll be around for before they discontinue it. Once again, still boggles my mind. I should do a whole separate video, actually. Should have done a whole separate video on Benchmade and included this latch question. As well as, you know, they've got this... I'll just do it now. What the hell? The 42, man. 42. It's like this iconic Balisong. One of the first that I know about that had features specific to flipping that people loved. People love that knife. People, you know, it's in movies. Knife is amazing. It has all kinds of revolutionary features, especially in regards to flipping. The solid milled out handles, titanium, the spring latch, you know, the handle length, you know, just everything. People love that knife, and yet they discontinue it and just let it die away. And it's not that they completely got out of the Balisong game. They're still making them. Just not anything in that caliber. They're kind of trying to make user Balisongs, it seems like. You know, like Balisongs as utility knives and EDC knives, which is kind of interesting because most people can't carry them and things like that. But there's all these flippers out there that are dying to get a 42, and they can't because they're gone. And those that use them, I mean, they suffer abuse, and, you know, eventually we're going to run out of 42s, even on the secondary market, for people to have. And I don't see why Benchmade would let that happen. And then they make the 62, which isn't titanium handles. It doesn't have the spring latch. It's got shorter handles. It's heavier. You know, a lot of people like it, but I think pretty much everybody would agree that it's not a good replacement for the 42. I don't see why they can't bring the 42 back, even at a higher price point. I think it would do very well. Okay, guys, battery's about to die. That's the end of my rant. Sorry if I hurt any Benchmade fans. That was not my intention. I really respect them as a company in a lot of ways, of, you know, what they've done and things like that. And yeah, so definitely didn't mean any disrespect to that. I'm not talking trash on this knife. Like I mentioned, it's just kind of due to my own sore boo-boo, where people will say, you know, talk crap on knives I like and say, you know, Benchmade can do perfect fit and finish for less money, and then I get a knife and I don't consider it perfect fit and finish. It's great, but I wouldn't consider it a benchmark. But that's where that comes from. It's not that I'm trying to belittle any Benchmade fans or them as a company or any of their knives. Yeah, so just a disclaimer there. That, you know, I'm not trying to do that at all. All right, guys, take it easy.